my question to you about Biden's administration and these never-ending budget deficits, I mean, how sustainable is that? Quentin Henney, good to have you back. It's been probably, I would say, 6 months since we've last spoke. How have you been?
Very good, Stormy. How are you?
I'm doing well. So last time we were talking, you were here speaking on behalf of Newfound Gold, but today we are actually talking about Nevada King. Very exciting things happening. And you and I were also just talking right before we started recording. And I had noticed how a lot of individuals within the management team of Nevada King, I've seen those names before. And then when this interview was lined up with you, I'm like, wait a minute, did he leave that one company to go to another company? So you're a man with many functions, very busy.
Yes, the mining sector is booming right now, and there was a fair bit of attrition back a few years ago during the downturn in the late '90s. Technical people,
Mm-hmm.
man, I can just about count in my right hand how many guys in their late 50s are in this business, and I'm one of them. So yes, we do tend to wear several hats, but we generally get the job done. So
Oh,
that's
and
what.
that's a good thing for you. I would imagine
Yeah.
that you would be compensated accordingly, being that you're just one of a few. Since you guys are hard to find. I actually had a couple of things that I wanted to talk about before we actually dive into the specifics with Nevada King, and that's kind of what's going on with the economy right now.
Okay.
As a stacker, somebody who I'm speaking about myself here, somebody who buys silver and gold. I do this as a hobby for one, and mainly as a hedge against inflation. And it's just it's fun to look at this as opposed to a lot of digits on a screen. Central banks, they've practically done everything within their legal powers. They've received few regulatory exemptions in order to implement their currency creation policies. And it's kind of crazy to see. And you look at some charts within the last year, about 25% of all the currency ever created happened last year. How does that relate to commodities in your view?
Look, obviously, it's going to have an impact. The larger the money supplied, and the increasing demand that comes with that as the money hits the economy, means that these commodities, which they're not increasing, in supply, at least not rapidly, they're going to be in higher demand.
Yeah.
I mean, higher prices. It's that simple.
And they're not going to be able to kind of keep up with that amount of cash, right? I mean, in the past we've had the gold standard. As you know, the United States came off of the gold standard, and to be able to, keep up with the demand and like you just said, with the ever growing supply of money, it's just going to send the value of precious metals higher and higher. Now, the inflation debate is also raging. Um, where do you stand with inflation? What are your thoughts on that?
Really, since the early part of the pandemic last year, and you could kind of see the seeds of the plans to stimulate the economy, hand out money, start to take root. I think it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that we will face inflation.
Yeah.
It's now front and center, as you see, news articles, for example, more and more articles are talking about inflation. It's a real factor. People can now see it. A year ago we were talking about it, saying, "Hey, this is going to happen." Now people can actually see it and feel it. Okay, you go to the lumber store and try to buy a two by,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's three times the price it was a year ago. Okay, you go, yes, oil prices are not where they were, say, in 2008 when they hit like 150 or whatever it was a
Right.
barrel, but they're going up. They're not going down. Okay, they're rising very rapidly. Copper's at an all-time high. Look at commodities like corn and stuff like this. They're also turning a sharp corner and heading very, very high right now. It is real. It is palpable. Unfortunately, all of this, effort that the government. It's not just the Fed. Okay, we're talking about our government making decisions
Mm-hmm.
thinking, hey, we're going to go out and help people, but they're going to have serious repercussions on the downside. They're actually going to hurt a lot of people that they're intending to help by doing what they're doing.
You know, the crazy thing too is, you know, you if you go back in time a handful of years, if you heard about, you know, bailouts and spending bills of, you know, trillions of dollars, everybody was like in shock. Now, you know, you have what was the I'm kind of forgetting what the amount was for unemployment benefits and you know, benefits for people for the stimulus because of COVID. It was like 1.6 trillion or something along those lines. And now you've got Biden, who is he just announced a couple months back the plan for, I think, was it 2.3 or 2.6 trillion dollars for the infrastructure plan that he's going to be putting into place. So you have these like massive numbers, and it's almost like it doesn't really, at least for me, it doesn't even register anymore. They're like, oh yeah, another 1.5 trillion. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, whatever, you know. So my question to you about Biden's administration and these never-ending budget deficits, I mean, how sustainable is that?
Look, it's definitely at an experimental level at this time. It's not sustainable. Everybody knows that,
Mm-hmm.
at least not over the long haul, because you're ultimately going to destroy the faith in said currency. Okay, part
Yeah.
of the thing about currency is people have to have faith in it to, you know, in the buying power of the currency for it to be useful. It is a tool in society. Okay, if you start debasing the value of currency by simply issuing lots more or lending out money, which in effect creates lots more money supply out there, you're devaluing things. Okay, and the problem there is, again, the people who are intended to be assisted by these measures
Mm-hmm.
are going to get hurt badly. Okay, the lowest 50% of wage earners are going to get the brunt of this. Why? Because a Big Mac meal is going to go from, you know, $6 or $7 right now to $15 very quickly.
I love
Lumber,
Big
like I
Macs, by the
said,
way.
there you go. Look, you know, everything. I mean, buying a house, for Pete's sakes. I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
you know, now people have to put down a down payment of 50 or $100,000, and that's even if they can get in the door. I mean, these houses are selling like mad right now. You know, people are paying over the asking price and stuff.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, what's a low income person going to do here? I mean, this is crazy stuff. They're trying to help people, and they're just going to absolutely make the situation worse. Sustainable? No.
Yeah. Something's definitely got to give. I mean, you can kind of feel this bubble, right? Everything is up. Housing prices are up. Spending is way up. You've got the Dow is up. Cryptocurrency's up. Like it's, it's absolutely astonishing. Um, I do want to talk about the company though that you are here to discuss with all of us, and that is though Nevada King. And one of the things again that I keep going back to is the management team. Some of the names that I've seen here, you've got Colin, and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing the name. Is it Kettle or Kettel?
Cattell. Yeah.
Cattell. Uh, and he's the founder of Nevada King, and you are co-founder, if I'm not mistaken, of Nevada King. Um,
I came in a little after him, but yeah, I
you're,
was one of the initial directors, correct?
and then you have Paul Matisek,
Matisik, that's
and
correct.
he's the CEO. You got Craig Roberts, director. He's a director. You've got Bassam Mubarak. He's CFO of Nevada King. Doug Forster is another name on there. So, talk to me a little bit about these gentlemen who you are working with.
All right, okay. Let's start with Colin. Look, Colin's a young guy. He's about 30 years old, and he's incredibly sharp. I think he's basically, you know, set to be the next Eric Sprott. He's definitely
Wow.
engaged in the mining industry, puts a lot of money to work through his fund, but also, you know, like Nevada King and Newfound Gold is actively engaged with these junior mining companies. He's going to do great. I mean, look at the Newfound; it's, you know, a fantastic success.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
you
it
know,
went up. I think since you and I have spoken, I think it's gone up 400% in the last like 8 months, 6 months.
I can't remember when we spoke, but when it IPO'd, I believe that day it traded around $1.30 Canadian. Today, I think it's trading a little over $8
Holy
Canadian.
cow.
So, it's definitely seen some rapid value
Uh,
appreciation. Uh,
absolutely.
yeah, so Colin's got a great future ahead of him. Paul Matisic, Paul, came through the Victory Metals combination here recently. Paul is well known in the mining community. He has a degree in geology and geochemistry, so he's technically savvy, but he's also a businessman. He knows how to sell companies basically and extract value. He's taken a number of companies through the sales process and sold for billions of dollars. Doug Forrester, back in the depths of the gold space, he picked up an asset or a company,
Mm-hmm.
I believe Crocodile Gold, which was struggling. It had some mines in Australia, managed to turn the company around as he brought it into Newmarket, and then they made the high grade discovery, which became the famous high grade at Fosterville, the Swan Zone, and so forth. Look, that company ended up selling to Kirkland Lake, so Doug's got a similar track record. Craig Roberts, I've known for many years. Craig worked with a group, a finance group in Vancouver, and
Mm-hmm.
I actually got to know Craig probably the first day I left major mining company in 2007. I left Newmont and went to work for a junior company, and Craig helped me get that company financed. So these are guys I've known for quite some time. They're all very capable guys in the mining industry, and you got to have a good team to succeed.
Absolutely. And I do want to quickly touch upon again that 400% bump for Newfound Gold. If I'm not mistaken, you basically are going to be executing a very similar drilling methodology that Newfound Gold has in order to achieve this a similar type of bump with Nevada King stock. Um, Let me ask you, the company's projects, they're all in Nevada, and it's just not any other regular old district. You have this Battle Mountain district, which apparently is like a hotbed for activity. Nevada too is rated, I believe, either the number 2 or number 1 gold region in the planet. So what's going on? Why is Nevada so unique?
Look, Nevada is well endowed with gold. It's produced probably over 200 million ounces in the past few decades. A lot of that's come from what they call Carlin deposits. These are sedimentary hosted gold deposits, and they're somewhat unique to Nevada. They're not exclusive, but there's a lot of them there. Okay, so if you look at Nevada geologically, about 65% of the terrain that's open for exploration is what we call covered. It's actually covered by gravels and late volcanic rocks and stuff that overprint or lay over the top of the prospective target areas. This Battle Mountain trend you mentioned is certainly one of the big gold trends in Nevada. The other one being the Carlin trend.
Okay.
But the Battle Mountain trend, I reckon, probably 65%, almost 2/3 of that trend left unexplored because the areas are covered. They're simply covered. So what are we doing? We're coming in and we're applying new modern science, and we're trying to reinvigorate exploration in Nevada. The reason I joined Nevada King is when I said, look, my passion is to go, make discovery, find a big deposit or two or more.
Right.
This is what I want to do. Colin agreed. We've raised a lot of money. We're well cashed up, and really we're one of the younger and more aggressive teams out there. We have a commanding land position, covers a huge part
Yeah.
of the Battle Mountain trend.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you about that, and I apologize for interrupting. I just don't want to forget. I was reading that your company was private for many years and had to basically, and like very methodically, stake with like actual physical stakes in the ground,
Yes.
and like actually planting these flags, register the claim. I think there's like over 8,000 stakes. So it's like your company like just like blanketed Nevada. And so the way I view that is it's like, okay, you've got all these claims, and if any of the bigger mining companies want any piece of the action, they have to go through you guys first.
Yeah, look, at this point in Nevada, Barrick and Newmont have formed joint ventures. So Nevada Gold Mines is the big player out there. It's not to say the only player. You know, you see Keith Newmeyer show up with First Majestic Silver,
Mm-hmm.
by Garrett Canyon. You got Ewan Downey, who's running I-80 Gold. You know, these are all players as well. But what we have done is just what you said. We've staked some very, very strategic positions up and down the Battle Mountain Trend. We haven't staked the whole state of Nevada, but we staked a lot of claims, something like 7 or 8 thousand claims, I believe. And to give people a perspective, each claim is about 600 feet wide. They're rectangular shaped. They're
Mm-hmm.
600 feet wide and about 1,500 feet long. Okay, so you have to stake claims in each corner. You have to put posts. You also have to have a discovery monument. And that's, you know, a lot of work. You have to get out there and actually use a GPS and put these stakes in the ground. But we've acquired the vast majority of our holdings through strategic staking in areas that have gone neglected over
Right.
the many years before.
So there's still some potential, obvious potential in those areas.
Yep.
Um, Let me ask you another question before we start wrapping up. What do you see being some major catalysts for Nevada King in the future?
Yeah, look, we've got a range of prospects, everything from very early stage, you know, where we have basically just a little bit of geophysical data or some data that says, hey, this is, you know, a critical part of the Battle Mountain Trend,
Mm-hmm.
all the way up to projects that have historic drilling or resources. You know, so for example, at the Atlanta Gold Project, as well as the Lewis and Horse Mountain Gold projects, we have data. We got historic drilling that says, hey, there's a big gold system there. It needs follow up. Okay, there's a lot of early opportunity to get in and drill. We actually announced that we're going to be drilling uh, some here soon.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely in the works. But at the same time, we're going out now on some of these other tracts of land, which are much more green. We'll call it early stage. And we're going to be collecting data over the next few months. The plan is to take advantage of this gold bull, access capital in the markets, and apply it in the ground, make discovery. It's that simple. Yes, we've done it at Newfound. Your comment earlier is similar. Geologically, it's different,
Mm-hmm.
but in many ways, it is similar. Okay, you look at Newfound, that country up there is covered by glacial till. There's a lot of just surface deposits that just don't let you see the geology. But the Newfound was bold enough to get in there, apply modern science, and make discovery. And it's a wonderful discovery. Okay, we're going to do the same thing in concept here. We're gonna get in, apply modern science, and make discovery. These Carlin deposits, they're big. Okay, they are the ones that major mining companies want. We want to go out and find one, two, three, maybe more discoveries of this type.
Very cool. And I'm noticing behind you, you have some, I don't know, it looks like rocks and minerals and things like that. I can't wait until you strike some serious, serious gold on some of these uh, areas that we're talking about. And behind you will just be nothing but gold nuggets, just all around, just giant gold nuggets. I really appreciate the time with you today, Director Quentin Henney. I am going to place your URL down below for everybody, as well as the ticker. Again, always a pleasure to speak with you. And like we discussed earlier, all of these coins will be sent to you, no charge to you.
All right, all right. I'll email you my address right away.
Sounds good, buddy. See you soon.
See you, Stormy.
And I would like to quickly thank these elite channel supporters. And if you haven't already become a channel member, please check out the awesome perks and join today. With that, this is Empire Precious Metals. Until next time, long live the Empire.